Hello, are we? This is a belt little video. So, a lot of people ask me this, especially people who come new onto the private hire game. Myself personally, don't. But if you're already processed, crack on. So, if you come into the private hire game and you are wondering what vehicle I should get. Now, guys, I'm going to separate. As an example, I'm going to use Uber. And I'm going to airport transfer company. Yeah? You can't really, to a certain degree, they are separate trades, in my opinion. They need separate vehicles, separate type of mindset. Do you know what I mean? It's just a complete, in my opinion, it's a separate trade. So you got Uber or your Alpha, your general taxis. You go online when you want, you go offline when you want, and you work wherever you want, right? You drop off. You probably won't see the customers again. You don't have to build relationships. You drop them off. You pick the next lot up. You drop them off. You go home. Airport transfer company is a bit different. You got to build rapport. You got to have a respectable vehicle to a certain degree because you want to build your clientele. You want to impress. You want to be comfortable, spacious, whatever. So it's hard. You can't really mix. In my opinion, let's separate the trades for these two videos. There's another video coming soon, by the way, covering airport transfers, which is the best vehicle. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join me membership for members only content and special perks. And it's like, technically it's like OnlyFans, but I keep my shorts on. That's the best way to look at it. And so sign up to that for us. And yeah, so going forward, guys, if you are becoming an Uber driver and you want to know what vehicle you want to get, right? From a business standpoint, I've always had the motto, keep your expenses low and your profit will be high. Yeah? If you go out and do $2,000 in a week, but your expenses are 1,800 quid, you've only profited 200 quid. What's the point? But if you do $2,000 a week and your expenses are 200 quid, you profited 1,800. Do you know what I mean? So there's so keep your expenses low and your profits high, and that's where I'm coming in. So this is not about passenger comfort. To be honest, to a certain degree, this is not driver comfort if you don't care about that, right? It is purely from a financial standpoint. So, you know, I obviously joke about and take the mick out of people in the Yaris, in the Ford Fiesta, in the flipping Renault Zoe, in those tiny little noddy cars. I'm 6'5", I'm jealous, I can't fit in them, right? As a driver or a passenger, right? But they're the type of cars you need to get. Right now, I'm saying it. If you just want to do Uber X and just standard cars and private hire taxis, they're the cars. Go and get a cheap little Yaris. Try and stay within the age range. So with Liverpool, there's after 8 years, you got to get a 6-month license. Every 6 months, you have to get an MOT or a compliance test. So technically, you can go out and get a 2008 Toyota Yaris if you want, or something along those lines. Couple of grand, manual, little 1.6 petrol, probably nip around the town centre. Boop, 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 boop. Honestly, if you're gonna go on the Uber and taxis in 2024, you gotta proper reduce your expenses as much as possible. You really have. And if you're gonna invest in a vehicle, I highly recommend investing in an electric vehicle, just because you save a lot in running costs and fuel and servicing, which then kind of covers your expenses in your in your finance. That's probably it. If you're gonna go quite new, or you want to get like a half decent car, go electric. If you literally want to maximize profits, just literally go and get a flipping bin off Auto Trader. And then when you drop them off 10 minutes down the road, covered in sickle, who stink of weed or he peed himself, you don't care, do you? Say, Yaris, get in the back, baby, wipe the seat and crack on with your day. But yeah, I'm being serious, guys, honestly. Because there's not much profit these days in the private hire game, especially Uber, squeezing every penny out of every fare. And you want to maximize your profits, you got to do it. I went to town last week. I had a little TikTok, it was funny. The driver knew me, he watched my content, so I was kind of messing about with him. But yeah, there's 4 of us, big. We are big, I'm big. And there was no room in the car. And I was like at the back, in the back, like that. And my neck was like on the roof like that. So half of the journey, I had to have my head out the window. And then the roof of the car was there in a Lexus CT. All the way home like Ace Ventura. Do you know what I mean? From a passenger standpoint and my standpoint, that was one horrific car to have. Especially for 4 biggies. But from a driver's perspective, fantastic. Small, cheap to run, maximising profits. So yeah, guys, if you're going to go on Uber... Oh, no, tell a lie. That's for like super cheap X work, right? If you want to expand into something else, Uber Exec. Depends on where you go. Do your research. In Liverpool, there's not much Uber Exec. I wouldn't invest in an Uber Exec vehicle because there's not much work there. I've got a Tesla Model S. I know. There's bits, but not worth the increase in all your expenses. Okay? So, myself personally, the other option is XL. Don't invest in the bus if you're doing Uber X. If you're doing Uber. See this? Too many expenses. Diesel's dead high. It's like flipping ridiculously high. Mile per gallon's terrible. And obviously it's just massive, bouncing around the little side streets, going to student gaffs and all that. If you're going to go down the route of Uber XL, make sure your council allows it, because not all councils allow it, but go for this Vauxhall Zafira 2014 plate Ford Galaxy, or a Volkswagen Charan, or a Volkswagen Touran, or a Seat Alabama, or whatever they all are. Those type where the 2 passengers in the boot, yeah, I've got to be knee high to a jelly baby, like this big. But same again, previous principle, you don't care, because in 10 minutes they're out of your car and out of your life. Yeah, so the XL sometimes is worth it, but just remember, if someone's booking an XL and 6 passengers, you won't have any luggage. That's why that type of vehicle is not good for the airports. And that's same again why these differ. So I'm going to go down the route in my next video. It might not be my literal next video, but make sure you follow me and keep an eye out for it. In the next few videos, I'll post on which is the best airport transfer vehicle to buy. Because there's loads pros and cons on each one of them as well. But for Uber, for Alpha, for Delta, local taxis, cheap, small, cheap. And that's it. If you want to go XL for a little bit extra income, because XL does bring in an additional over the X, cheap, small, cheap, and that's it. Cheaper they are, maximise your profits. Now I know people are going to say, oh, but Matty, if I get a 2010 plate car with 100,000 miles on the clock, even though it doesn't cost me any money per month, it's still going to cost me loads in repairs and everything else. Then yeah, it is. But so are these newer cars. I got this, and then a week later, the knock sensor went for 1,500 quid. Luckily, it was under warranty. I've got a Tesla. Wow, boss. The electric motor went in that one. Should have been 5 grand. Luckily, it was covered under Tesla warranty. So that's what I mean. All cars break. I know lads in V-classes, 2 years old, of 50,000 miles, spending money on it. It is. It just happens. Cars cost money. Yes, it might cost you more in older cars, but it might not. You get yourself a little high Toyota Yaris, mate. Oh my God, bulletproof them, lad. Or the Toyota Prius. It's the reason why it's ugly, but it's the reason why it's the most popular private hire taxi on the planet. Super cheap to run. Probably bulletproof, hardly breaks down. And yeah, you can get them for like a 2006 or 7 and get it licensed. Do you know what I mean? I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on TikTok. And yeah, definitely join my membership if you want. And if you're going on holiday and you can't take your family because you're bouncing around in a Toyota Yaris, make sure you book with DM Airport Transfers. As per usual, thanks for watching. Like the video. Catch you all later. Peace out.